And gentlemen, Rice won. Welcome back to the Collegiate Rundown. Hope you had a great week of college football. I certainly did not. We will talk about that and much more on today's episode of the Collegiate Rundown. It will be a bit of an abridged episode. First, we know that Rice won, and Tulsa, Oklahoma State. I believe that game kicks off in 4 minutes.
It
Who we
does.
got here?
I mean, Oklahoma State, they look absolutely horrendous right now. I can't lie to you. I mean, that Oregon game was an embarrassment. But at the same time, they're playing Tulsa. Tulsa playing without their starting quarterback, Kirk Francis. So, I mean, they're already not one of the better teams in the AAC. Uh, so, I mean, if Oklahoma State doesn't win, it would be horrible for the program. But I think they should handle Tulsa.
I agree. Not gonna argue with that. Gonna put that game on so that we can get some live-ish updates on that one. Next up, we move to Iowa Rutgers. Who you thinking tonight?
All right, for that one. I mean, so this kicks off Big Ten Conference play. So obviously, gonna be very important to me. The best conference in the country. Uh, let's see. So Iowa, once again, their offense just does not look up to par. Mark Gronowski played a solid game against UMass, though. Like, you can't really take away much from that. Against Iowa State, he had just 83 passing yards, no touchdowns. And against my Albany Great Danes, he had just 43 yards. Or 44, sorry. So, their quarterback play just does not look good, like they said it would. So, that worries me. Because they're banking on the offense doing well this year. They're banking on the offense doing well this year because their defense, in my opinion, is at least it's at least one of the worst that Kirk Ferentz has ever fielded. It's not bad, but Kirk Ferentz always has elite defenses, and that's what keeps them in games. Rutgers, on the other hand, took down an Ohio team that's actually proven to be pretty good. Took down Miami of Ohio. Took down Norfolk State. I mean, maybe not too impressive wins. This is a big test for actually both of these teams, but I
So we pick
actually,
two.
but I like Rutgers to win this one, actually.
I honestly agree. Look at a shaky start to the year. Iowa, have they proved themselves against anybody? I mean, they
No, they
got
lost to
Iowa
Iowa
State.
State.
They
They
in
beat
that game,
Albany, which is
and
I
their
mean, they
other
beat
two
Albany,
games have
which
been
is a great win.
cakewalks, if I remember correctly.
You can, they beat Albany. That's a big win.
Albany is a joke, and so is UMass. Um, Arizona State, Baylor moving in to our Saturday slate.
All right, Arizona State and Baylor. Arizona State, they're obviously coming off of a very bad loss, a very embarrassing loss to that Mississippi State team that was so bad last season. Or that was 2 weeks ago though. They bounced back against Texas State. I mean, they took them down handily. Not much that you can really take away from this game. I'd say this is pretty even. Baylor, coming into the year, I thought they would be very solid. And, I mean, in a very close one, they took down SMU in double overtime. Their one loss is
That was
to
a great
Auburn.
game. I mean,
They're,
it, it,
yeah,
it rivals Georgia Tennessee for game of the year so far.
yeah. All right. Their one loss to Auburn, of course. That one, well, I mean, Auburn looked like they had it under control. It wasn't a great showing, but I like the experience that this Baylor team has. And to me, it seems like Cam Scadaboot was like really the everything that Arizona. He like Kanye Udo is a great running back, but he can't replace what Cam Scadaboot did. Not just running the football, but as for the team and in the receiving game as well. So I'm gonna go with Baylor.
I agree. I think that Baylor, especially at home, takes care of business. I don't think Arizona State's half the team they were last year. Don't see them being able to take down a Baylor team that has legitimately looked really solid, even against Auburn, who it could really be quite good this year. Played a solid game. Did lose, but played solid. UTSA, Colorado State.
All right, not too sure about really about these two teams, but Colorado's all right. UTSA once again they should be competing. They I mean, it was somewhat close against Texas A&M week one. They really haven't looked very impressive to me this to start this year. Colorado State playing at home here, they well struggled to take down a Northern Colorado team. They needed a touchdown in the final minutes, in the final minute of the game, as well as a 10-point comeback in the second half to do so.
Um,
So
uh,
these two teams, I don't
that
think that.
touchdown was not a touchdown. If you've seen the post on that, that was the most obviously rigged game I've ever watched.
All right, glad to hear your input. But anyways, I'm gonna go with UTSA. I'm not a big fan of either of these teams, but I mean, I feel like UTSA probably should have this one.
I'm gonna pencil that one in for UTSA as well. They look pretty solid against Texas A&M a couple weeks ago. Was pretty impressed with them actually with that from that game, especially now that after A&M's win over Notre Dame. Think they're gonna take care of business versus a very weak Colorado State team if the refs don't get involved. Syracuse Clemson. Is Clemson any good?
It's a fair question because coming into this year, I thought I had Cade Klubnik as my Heisman winner. I thought Clemson would be very good. Then they struggle against LSU to do anything. They're down 16. They're down 16 nothing just before the break against Troy. They do obviously come back to win that one, and then Georgia Tech takes them down. So now I'm questioning if they're any good at all. So could this just be like that? I don't remember the season. It was like 2020 or 2021, where they were just very average when we all thought they'd be good coming into the year. Because I feel like it's giving off a similar vibe. But I'm not a big fan of Syracuse this year. I think Clemson bounces back.
I agree. I think they bounce back against Syracuse. Really not a fan of Syracuse's start to the season after what they had against UConn and even against Tennessee. CU Boulder, Wyoming. I think even Colorado gets it done against this really bad Wyoming football team.
Agreed. I mean,
But
Wyoming.
what do you think?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this should be a
All
win. I
right,
mean,
let's
Wyoming.
keep moving a little bit.
Yeah.
Now we move into NC State Duke finally getting into the research triangle. And we got a set point for Marquette in the first set of their
Most.
volleyball game versus Florida,
Bro,
if anyone's interested.
I don't think anybody's interested. No offense,
Ben and
but
Nate are.
all right. Uh, Duke NC State. So Duke coming into this. I mean, I actually have Duke, though I'm not sure many people would agree with me. But because, well, did they look good at all uh against Illinois? No, they did not. They did not look great against Tulane either. They're sitting at 1-2. Uh, their one win over Elon. But NC State they're 3-0. But I'm just not a fan of them. I don't believe in them yet. If they can take down Duke, become 4-0, uh, they should have a simple path to 6-0 as well. Then I believe in them. But I feel like I just need to see that they're good. Take down another quality opponent before I can believe in them. So I'm gonna go with Duke.
I honestly disagree there, but not enough to change the vote. I think NC State is actually solid. I think Duke has really embarrassed themselves. Tulane is very good. Illinois is very good as well. But Duke was touted to be a team that could compete with both of them. Should have won at least one of them. And really, honestly, disappointing that they didn't win either of them. I do see them losing again. I just really don't believe in them after that start. But I can also see them bouncing back, and that's what we'll go with. BYU, East Carolina.
All right, BYU and ECU. I mean, this one it actually is at ECU, and ECU just took down my Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. So I mean, then Bear Buckmeyer. I just cannot believe in a team that has their quarterback wearing the number 47. That's disgraceful. So I mean, ECU they look pretty solid. They were competitive with NC State week one on that Thursday night. They shut out my shots 38-0. That was horrendous. So I like ECU actually this season, but BYU they returned production from a team that was very solid last year. I'm not gonna pick a shocker here. I'm gonna go with BYU.
I agree. Louisiana, Eastern Michigan. What are we thinking?
All right. So Eastern Michigan, they're right now 0-3 this season. They were taken down by so I don't like them really. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Louisiana. They lost. They were taken down by Rice week one. Did not uh, make it even competitive at all with this Missouri team. But I mean, this EMU team really looks bad. So I'm gonna go with Louisiana.
I agree. Eastern Michigan really weak. Louisiana gets the W on the road. Delaware, FIU.
So Delaware right now they are. Let's see. They had their first home game against an FBS opponent as an FBS program, and they took down UConn in a thriller. They walk it off in overtime off of a Nick Minitucci run. So well, they it was actually a thrilling game. I caught the end of regulation on ESPN Plus. But anyways, they're 2-1 right now. They were taken down by Colorado week two. FIU they were shut out by Penn State, but actually Penn State did not look good. My guess is that's just Penn State not looking good, not FIU look. I mean, not FIU looking good. But they take down their rivals in FIU. I mean, to me this is a toss up, but I'm gonna go with FIU. I just don't think Delaware has the experience as an FBS program.
I agree. FAU. Delaware doesn't really seem like in their first year going to be able to compete much, especially on these far road games. I don't really know even if they have the operational bandwidth to do such a thing. Florida State and Georgia Tech. Do you see any of either of them having any issues with their two opponents this week?
Probably not. I mean,
All right, we
nothing.
will then
Yeah,
go ahead and move on. Illinois, Indiana, the game that should be game day, but you got to have that SEC team in the game day, of course. So
all right. So Indiana actually favored to win this one by a touchdown. I'm not really sure what the basis for this is. Not to say
they're at home.
because these teams are 6-0. Indiana, just how much can you like? Once again, they're just scheduling cupcakes for their out of conference schedule. I mean, they're clearly there's no incentive for not doing that. So good for them starting out 3-0. But there's not really much to go off of for this Indiana team. How good are they? We can't really tell. Illinois took down Duke handily by 26 in week two. So while Indiana's favored, I mean, I kind of trust Illinois more just because of the returning experience that they have. Indiana won, build up their team with transfers, and Kurt Signetti did show that could work last season. So this actually a very interesting match. I kind of like Indiana for it, but I'm gonna go with Illinois. I don't think Illinois. Well, I think they'll be a bit sloppy. Not really sure why, but I think they'll get it done.
I agree. I think this game is going to be a bit of a slot fest. I think both offenses are going to make mistakes. They both made a rather significant number of mistakes. Um, Between the two of these teams, I think Illinois does finish off the win. Arkansas State, Kennesaw State.
All right, so for this one, I mean, Kennesaw State, they're not really in a great spot after seeing them last season. Arkansas State sitting at 1-2, but they actually, after getting destroyed by Arkansas, they actually fought very well with Iowa State. That would have been the biggest win in their program's history, and it was a 1 point game in the middle of the fourth before Iowa State extended the lead. They had a chance the whole way through the game, and they couldn't capitalize on it. But that is kind of impressive to see. And now they're playing a newer FBS program, a team that, I mean, they were competitive with Wake Forest, 10-9. but really that could just be sloppiness from Wake Forest. In my opinion, I not too much of a fan of Kennesaw State. I don't think they have the experience in the FBS to compete with the teams that have been recruiting at an FBS level for a long time. So I'm gonna go with Arkansas State.
I agree. Butch Jones gets it done. Looks confused though. Gets to go visit a beautiful stadium out at Fifth Third Stadium, I believe it's called.
The fraction.
West Virginia, West Virginia, Kansas. What are we thinking? And I believe Tulsa has just gotten a fourth down stop. Oklahoma State is in field goal range, so they'll bring on the kicker. Continue.
Well, that wouldn't. Okay. Anyways, so West Virginia, we all wrote them off after they lost to Ohio. Ohio actually very competitive with Ohio State last week. The scoreline
And
doesn't really show it, but that was a 4 point game in the third quarter. So they've looked pretty impressive to me. They almost took down Rutgers in week one. They have two Big Ten losses, and they took down a Big 12 opponent. So they already had one of the hardest strength schedules, and they've done well. But we're not talking about Ohio. We're talking about West Virginia here. So this Ohio team, it's looks pretty good, and West Virginia just bounced back against Pitt in overtime in the backyard brawl. So that's an impressive win in itself. Always an impressive win to win the backyard brawl. And they really bounced back well. But Kansas, they're 2-1 right now. They were taken down last 2 weeks ago actually in the border war. I'm not too big of a fan of them actually. I'm not really like until Jalen Daniels can prove that he's elite when healthy.
to be
Uh,
honest,
I will. I'm gonna go with. It's tough. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go with Kansas. I'm not too sure about West Virginia because they're giving me mixed signals at this point of the season.
you're going to pardon me.
Alright.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
What? Yeah. Yes. Yes.
You're going with Kansas.
Yes.
Okay. Not loving either of these teams. I honestly agree with you. Actually, now that I think about it, Kansas at home gets it done. Gets going in Big 12 flag with a victory. La Tech, so miss. Let's speed it up here though.
All right. All right. So this one, once again, I'm not too sure about either of these teams, but this Southern Miss team, I mean, they obviously got rejuvenation over the offseason with these Marshall transfers, and they just took down App State, which is a pretty impressive win. I'm not gonna lie. App State in one of their probably should be one of their worst years in a while, but Southern Miss took them down handily. Louisiana Tech, they were actually kind of competitive with LSU. Maybe it wasn't. They were never gonna win, but their defense showed up. They played well against this LSU team. I'm not too sure about the offense at this point. I'm not really sure about. Well, I'm gonna go with Southern Miss here. Louisiana Tech. They actually could be good in my opinion in this USA, but I'm gonna go with Southern Miss.
I agree. I think Louisiana Tech gets a close but still serious stomp them from as a pre-welcome gift from the Sun Belt this year. James Madison Liberty. What are we thinking?
All right,
We should
so
go to that game.
no. All right. Anyways, these are probably the two top group of five programs over the last 3 years or so. But at this point, neither of them have looked great. Liberty were taken down by Bowling Green last week. James Madison at 1-1. They, I mean, not at fault. They're not at fault for losing to Louisville, but I this one's actually, I don't like going against Amy Chadwell for obvious reasons. He was so great for Coastal, but I'm not a big fan of Liberty this year. I don't think they're anywhere near as good as they have been in past years. So I'm gonna go with James Madison.
I agree, honestly. I think James Madison has done a lot more, been a lot more consistent, especially this year. I'm concerned, honestly, about Liberty this year if they can't turn around in this game. I don't think they do, so
All right, Marshall and Middle Tennessee State. Marshall, I mean, they had a close loss. Both of these teams at 1-2 here. Uh, I, Middle Tennessee State. That first game against Austin P. I just can't look past
hilarious.
it. I'm not gonna lie. So
Now,
even if they
Austin P
did,
may be a really, really, really good FCS team.
yeah, but I just can't look past it. Even with the win over Nevada last week, they finally turned it on in the final 6.5 minutes. Their last 6.5 minutes have been better than the rest of their season combined. Uh, but I'm gonna take Marshall. I just can't look past that horrendous start.
I agree. Next up, UNLV Miami.
All right, UNLV. It's a team full of like Power Five rejects, but there's a lot of talent on this team, and they're 3-0. They took down UCLA, which well isn't really an impressive win at this point. Uh, they struggled against an FCS program, but UCLA just in a horrendous spot anyways. So how much can you really think about this win? Like I don't know. Miami, Ohio, on the other hand, they're winless at this point, but they were playing against two Big Ten opponents. I like them actually in the MAC. Once again, I think they were my pick to win the MAC going into the year. But I think UNLV, I think they have too much talent. I think they'll be able to take down Miami, Ohio. Though I do like Miami, Ohio in this matchup.
I agree. Miami, Ohio, really not a bad team. They've done a pretty decent job so far this season, but UNLV turned it around last week again or 2 weeks ago against UCLA. Don't see them falling behind again. Tulsa is driving. It's first down in the red zone for them right now. South Carolina, Missouri. What are we thinking?
All right, so this one actually a pretty interesting game. We will see if South Carolina can bounce back after that not good looking B&D loss. They were sloppy in week one, and then and they weren't did not look great against SC State in week two either. Uh, I'm not too sure about this South Carolina team, and Lenore Sellers, he should be playing this weekend. Actually, he's been upgraded to probable over the last day, but Missouri took down Kansas in the border war. They haven't really shown any signs of weakness at this point, and I like what Eli Drinkwitz has done with the program. So I'm gonna go with Missouri.
Touchdown, Tulsa. I agree with that Missouri pick. Tulsa is just taking the lead. Auburn, Oklahoma, another great game. What are we thinking?
So this is Jackson Arnold's maybe revenge day. These teams are combined 6-0. Auburn with an impressive win over Baylor actually. OU, they have like the best win in the country so far against Michigan. So I mean to beat such a top tier opponent, I can't pick against them at this point. So give me Oklahoma. But honestly, I will go with Oklahoma because I just like what I like Dramateer. I think they've done a good job building up this defense to play better than they have in the past. I think they have weapons on both sides of the football, so I'm gonna pick Oklahoma.
I agree. Troy, Buffalo. Buffalo struggled against Kent State last week. Troy fought with Memphis. What are we thinking?
So Troy, well, I thought that before this year, they would be really bad. I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I thought they would have like a maximum of 4 wins, but then after watching them against Clemson, I began to think differently. I can't recall if I picked them to beat Memphis last week, but I mean, it wasn't particularly close. Memphis really had them at the whole game, and Buffalo, they are one of the top teams in the MAC this season. They But they really did just struggle against Kent State, which, well, knowing Kent State, that's not a good look for Buffalo to have. So I actually like Troy to do this. I really, I mean, maybe I'm overreacting, but they look so good against Clemson. I'm not gonna lie though. That could just be Clemson. Clemson actually is not looking good whatsoever. You know, I'm gonna revise that. Scratch that. I'm gonna go with Buffalo. I like what they've done with this defense.
Oh, Gathering today, aren't we? I'm gonna deny that. My first denial of the pick. I think Troy's a much stronger team here.
All right.
I can't see Buffalo winning this football game. We will see. I've only denied a couple games this year. We'll see how that one goes. SMU TCU.
All right. So this one of the bigger rivalries in Texas. This one always a close one, and I think it should be once again TCU take uh demolished that UNT team in week one. Uh, SMU they're 2-1. They had that one loss in a controversial one against Baylor, and it was an incredible game. And I mean, they fought with them so well. It's hard to like really count that from being a win versus a loss because well, they just played well and it was and yeah, it's a close loss. I like SMU. Uh, they returned production. They returned Kevin Jennings, obviously, from last year's playoff team. TCU looked very solid. I've always been a Josh Hoover believer. Not really sure why. But this is a tough one. I'm actually gonna go with TCU. Kevin Jennings. I mean, I don't like that he's already thrown 3 interceptions this season. He's already prone to interceptions like he was last year, and that's what we really need to work on. And I just don't think he's done that enough.
I agree. You're going with TCU, correct?
Yeah, I don't know how you agree though without knowing who I'm going for, but
I do agree with TCU. I was just making sure that that was your pick. Duquesne Akron.
all right, Akron they've looked horrendous. I mean, they had 0 points going into last week, but then made it pretty close against UAB. I'm not gonna lie, they had UAB where they wanted them. Uh, and Duquesne, well, I don't believe they're a great FCS program. They already lost one to an FBS program very badly. I mean, this Akron team is so bad, but I'm gonna pick them. I think they should be able to take down Duquesne.
I agree. Duquesne, not a strong FCS program. Akron, one a really, really bad FBS program. North Carolina UCF is Billy Boy going to win another football game.
All right, so well, I mean, Bill Belichick, he's bounced back since that horrible Week One loss, but they played Charlotte and Richmond. You can't take away much from that. Uh, and now they're playing UCF, who is, in my opinion, they could maybe be a dark horse in the Big 12 this season. They're 2-0 at this point, and well, I mean they did not look great against either of their against Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State actually pretty solid. They haven't really had a test yet. This is maybe their first test, but I can't look past that Week 1 game like that UNC played. Obviously, that might not have been who they really are, but if that's how they're playing against Power 5 competition, I gotta go with UCF.
I agree. I don't think UNC is going to get a Power 5 win. I mean, only winning against Charlotte 20-3. Hawaii, Fresno State.
All right, so
Oklahoma State has just punted the football.
great. All right, so maybe tomorrow's the day we do the Hawaii challenge. Probably not. In fact, almost actually definitely not.
No.
But anyways, Hawaii took down Stanford week one, impressive win. They are 3-1 at this point, and they've looked pretty solid. Fresno State, once again, I mean, they're gonna be near the top of the Mountain West, in my opinion. They, I'm gonna go with Fresno State here. Not too knowledgeable about them. Not a big fan of E.J. Warner throwing more picks than touchdowns at this point of the year, but he can turn that around. He's an experienced quarterback, and I like Fresno State in this one.
I think it'll be closer than you're giving credit. I think Fresno State really did not have a even game that made me feel good about them against Kansas early in the season. But yeah, I do agree. They take down Hawaii. Hawaii just a little too good for a little too not good. Slightly Hawaii is slightly worse.
Yeah.
My actual college game that shouldn't be, but go ahead.
All right. So this one's tough. You guys, Florida. This game really could determine their season if they even want to make a bowl game at this point. This is a rivalry for them, and and I like that. I like the talent they have with their team. I don't think it's going to be as lopsided as people think. But at the same time, Miami's looked very solid so far this season. They are 3-0. They took down two ranked teams, two top 20 teams, although USF maybe not quite that. But this is tough. I'm gonna go with Miami, but I think Florida really fights in this one. I think this is for their season, so they're gonna deliver.
I agree. Poor guy. Must win game. Not only for their bowl success, but also I think for his Tulane Ole Miss.
All right, Tulane, they're 3-0 at this point. They've taken down two Power
Playing
Five.
games this weekend.
They've taken down two Power Five programs, and pretty handily. They have Jake Rex. They obviously have Jake Rexlott at quarterback. The well, didn't really do anything for BYU, but he had to leave because well, other reasons. But uh, he's really led Tulane to be
Yeah.
very
Did
solid so
you
far
did
to start this season. Ole Miss, they're also 3-0 at right now. They have taken down two SEC teams already, albeit maybe not the two top ones. But Arkansas is pretty solid, obviously. This is a really tough one. I think Tulane maybe keeps it close early on, but I think that the talent gap maybe between these two teams, I feel like the experience and conference between conferences will show later on. I think Ole Miss takes down Tulane, but it will be pretty close.
may agree. Civil War or the uncivil war, depending on what you prefer to call it. Oregon State, Oregon.
All right. So I don't know why the spread has Oregon minus 35. I mean, to me that feels disrespectful to Oregon State. But at the same
No, it
time, Oregon,
doesn't. Not with the way
yeah,
Oregon State's
maybe
done
not,
this.
maybe
My
not.
God.
But Oregon State, they've looked horrendous at this point. I mean, they always seem to maybe
That
play kind
feels
of well
respectful.
against Oregon, but it's kind of hard to look past what they've done. I mean, this game obviously means so much to them, but and I thought they'd actually be pretty good coming into the year. But look at that 0-3 start, and I just can't have confidence in them. I think Oregon wins it pretty handily.
May agree. I agree. Um, yeah, coastal South Alabama. Excuses.
I mean, I would pick against Coastal anyways, but sure.
I don't know anything about coastal. I do know a bit about South Alabama. Good bit,
We are
actually.
well,
Tulsa has just been stopped. They seem to be going for it.
all right. Well, anyways, Coastal, we've looked horrendous to start this year. I mean, for right now, we have a total of 20 points across 3 games. 7 of those, obviously, in
First down,
a
Tulsa.
garbage time touchdown against Virginia. We looked absolutely horrendous. I mean, we gave up 38 points to ECU. We were shut out 38-0 by ECU. Virginia, who's maybe not anywhere near the top, the ACC, they absolutely demolished us. I mean, and our one win Charleston Southern, where we threw 3 interceptions, and it was a 3-point game until there were 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Now I'm done with my rant about Coastal Carolina. I mean, South Alabama's favored by a good amount, and for good reason. They're 1-2, but they've lost to two very solid programs. Tulane only by 2, which is pretty impressive actually. They had the chance to tie it with a 2-point conversion, though they couldn't pull it off. They lost to Auburn, uh, but and that was actually not even too bad of a loss. So I'm gonna go with South Alabama, and well, Coastal is so bad.
Wow, I agree. USC, Michigan State.
All right, USC. Uh, so far this year, I mean, their offenses look pretty solid, or I mean, very good. I mean, Purdue. Well, Purdue probably should be better than they were last year, but I mean, it was kind of close, maybe. At points of this game. Uh, so we're definitely aided by a huge big man pick six, Jamal Jarrett. And against Sparty. Sparty looked absolutely horrendous. I was laughing at them from my couch last weekend on that Saturday when I returned home, and they are struggling with Youngstown State. I was so happy. They look so bad. I mean, that game. Okay, maybe it wasn't that bad, but I mean, it was a 10-point game with 3 minutes to go. So, I mean, I don't like Michigan State here. Well, I always feel like they're talented. I don't really know why, but I'm gonna go with USD.
I agree. USC having a pretty good start, doing pretty solid. Must be alert us that the Iowa Rutgers coming up shortly. McNeese, Utah State.
All right, McNeese.
It's flag football.
Let's see. I mean, McNeese State. They used to be somewhat good in at football in the at the FCS level. Utah State right now they are 2-1. They actually have played very solidly up to this point, taking down Air Force and UTEP. Air Force maybe an impressive win. I mean, 49 points against against a Service Academy defense is pretty good. McNeese State, they have not looked too great on the other hand, so I'm gonna go with Utah State. All right, Michael. Michael,
I agree.
bro.
Very solid program. Can't see them pulling off the upset ULM UTEP.
Uh, hold on. All right, ULM. I mean, coming into the year once again, they're gonna be bottom barrel of the Sun Belt. I mean, getting shut out 73-0. I mean, it's an Alabama team, but at the same time, 73-0 is really bad. Take down St. Francis. UTEP once again also going to be near the bottom of this USA. But against Texas, I mean, the scoreline doesn't look too bad. Maybe it wasn't really that close, but was it good defense that was really making Arch Manning struggle? It might have been. It might be just Arch Manning struggling a ton. But I mean, I'm gonna go with UTEP here.
I agree. Can't see ULM being very good whatsoever. Texas Tech, Utah.
All right, this one, one of
Walk us
the
through this one.
one of the marquee games of the weekend. A top 17 battle between two pretty evenly matched top of the Big 12 teams. We will see if Texas Tech's transfer strategy really pays off here. This being their first true test uh, at um, at Rice Eccles Stadium, where we will see if Utah's legitimate too. I mean, they had a very poor season last year, and I mean they have not really played any solid opponent yet. UCLA horrendous, Wyoming just so bad. Cal Poly, an FCS program. We'll see if they're legit. I'm not too sure about this one, but I like Utah. I think they're gonna be. I think Rice Eccles is gonna be loud for this one. I think this is a huge game for the program, as it is for Texas Tech. But I mean, I always think Utah's defense is gonna be solid. I think they're always gonna come out for blood, and I think they should take down Texas Tech.
I agree. Texas Tech not reaping the benefits of their new NIL money. First down, Tulsa again in the red zone. My goodness. Stanford, Virginia. Stanford finally got the win. I think the only win of the season.
All right, Mike. Can you take over for a bit, bro?
What?
Bro. All right.
Oh, all right. Stanford, Virginia. Here's the game. Stanford, obviously, you struggle whenever you come over to the East Coast to play games. Stanford at home last week. I don't see them replicating it with a Virginia team that puts up a lot of fight. They didn't beat NC State, but they gave a bit good fight. I think, especially in Charlottesville, Virginia gets the job done. Now we move on to Maryland playing Wisconsin. Wisconsin was bad against Alabama. Obviously, Alabama could be quite good, but Wisconsin even didn't look too good, I believe. Uh, Maryland started the season, they dominated FAU. Everybody thought, oh, is Maryland actually okay right now? Interesting. Thinking that Maryland struggled, I believe, with, yeah, last Friday night, or 2 nights ago. I don't really know what to think about this game. I think Wisconsin wins it at home. I think it'll be close. You know what? Scratch that. Give me Maryland. I actually think Billy Edwards close to beat his team. They know what he's good at and what he's not so good at, and they can attack it really well. Arkansas, Memphis. What are we? I guess let's think about this one. Memphis, I believe, had a pretty good run against game against Troy. Troy kept it close. That's just a sign of the relative strength of Troy. Pardon me. Let me just pull up our college football scoreboard for the week. Tulsa's field goal is good. It is now 10-3. Iowa has scored a touchdown, I believe, on the kick return. Oh, ho, ho. Let's take a look at that one. Seemed to have missed it while I was talking to y'all. Absolutely hilarious if that has just happened. I'll go take a look at that. Yep, kick return by Wetjen. Absolutely hilarious. We may have made the wrong pick. Oops. Um, Louisville, don't see them having any trouble. Back to Arkansas, Memphis. These teams, Arkansas kept it close for 3 quarters, but it turns football game lasts for all 4 quarters, and they just couldn't do it against Ole Miss. They do win there's a pretty significant talent gap even between these two teams, but I think it'll be pretty close, pretty solid game. Besides that, Virginia Tech, I mean, it'll be concerningly close. Losing after the game against Old Dominion, I don't know what to think about Virginia Tech except for fire Brent Pry. I mean, my goodness. Uh, Toledo, Western Michigan. Toledo always one of the sit right on the top of the MAC. Western Michigan, not so much. Let's take a look at this game here. Michigan looking at 0 and three Illinois losses to North Texas and a loss to Michigan State. Um, it'll be close. Kentucky, and I think they will pull off the victory, even and I don't honestly think it will be too much of a concern for them. South Carolina State, South Florida, honestly, I don't think they'll do much better than South Carolina. Normal South Carolina did against South Carolina State earlier this season. Think that they'll bounce back after the loss to Miami. Stay a very strong team, definitely a group of five playoff big contender, even after that loss. North Texas and Army. Army got their first, I believe, their first win against Kansas State. I believe it was their first win. Let me take a look at their game system for that one. Sorry, technical difficulties. Yeah, rather unfortunate that they are happening now. Um, I think this game in West Point, I'm not sure how that happened, how they played so few games. North Texas, 3-0, they get it done in West Point on the road. Tennessee UAV, I'll recuse myself. I'll talk about that one. But we are going to talk for a second. Oh my gracious. I have not been sat there for a football game in my lifetime. I have not been sat in this Tennessee Georgia game. It was so close. Oh, Rutgers is just and scored in response to Raymond. And Oklahoma State finally on the move as well, nearing the midfield marker. Unbelievable. Tennessee is against their own kicker. Really proud of what Coach Heupel's done. Think that he and the deal with the devil that the Vols made during the Arkansas game in 1998 that caused the Buffalo paying their debts today, and that continue as we saw last weekend. Wagner, Central Michigan. Central Michigan definitely not Wagner. Wagner not on the stronger side of the FCS. Can't see something that's surprising happening. Notre Dame, Purdue, the battle for the Jewel Chile is going to be a lot closer than it has been in some previous iterations of this game more recently. Still don't think it'll be too terribly close of a game. Um, let's go want some NFL action. If the fans want to talk about anything, the fans should come up and join the podcast. If they don't, they don't. Thank you very much. I see Notre Dame winning this game, bouncing back after the loss to Texas Tech. Controversial calls in that game. I think they still deserve to win. Ohio Gardner Webb. Ohio really proved themselves with the victory over West Virginia, and they were competitive for three quarters against Ohio State. I think Ohio are a really solid team. I don't see them having any problems with Gardner Webb. I think they get the job done at home. It's not going to be a comparatively more interesting one. That game in East UConn one sitting at 1-2. Let's take a look at who they've played so far. They lost to Delaware in overtime. Whoa, whoa! Didn't see that one. Should have. Two overtime losses. And there are two responses to Ball State just barely beat New Hampshire. as we expected New Hampshire to win that game. It was close, so we were shockingly close on that upset reach that we made there. Coming off of two overtime games, you can either get demoralized, see it kind of goes off the rails. You don't even make the whole game after straight. Such a such a lot of people are on the program. We're really really excited about for independent. Uh, yeah, honestly, I don't know who wins this game. I just think Ball State is such a weak team in talent that I can't see them, even in a situation like this, to pull off the upset, arguably an upset. NIU first, Michigan, Nebraska. Michigan going on the road, facing off against Dylan Raiola. This is going to be a close game. Actually, this one. Talk about interesting games that we're going to get. Here we go. Absolutely incredible game that we're going to get. Let's see what time we're going to get it. 3:30 p.m. in Lincoln. Michigan favored by 1.5. I think that's going to be pretty close to how much they win by. Michigan will win this football game. It will be extremely close. It will instill a lot of fear in there. Marquette leading 2-0 in a volleyball. Anyone cares about that? Plus, Trey Lamb being interviewed. They're doing a great job. Iowa now has the ball back. Let's see if another
All right,
team take a
your
score. Ooh,
your
a
master
deep
picker
shot
has
here. He's
returned.
got a minute. It is. And yeah. So yeah, welcome back, Sam. They break out games. Just want to move back to UAB Tennessee for a second. I had to recuse myself from that.
All right, so I mean,
Ooh, that yeah.
this one should not be close. I mean, UAB just struggled with that Middle Tennessee State team that was so bad. Tennessee, their offense has looked electric thus far. They should bounce back from that Georgia loss with easy win over UAB.
All right. I was getting started on both of these teams. You want to talk about them? NIU looked pretty good against Maryland. We know how good Maryland is, and we won't until that Wisconsin game. Mississippi State had a great start to their season. What do we think?
All right, so Mississippi State, they bounced back so well. With obviously with that win over Arizona State, uh, they after that they show no signs of struggle against Alcorn State. They're 3-0 actually. Northern Illinois 1-1 with that loss to Maryland. They're coming off of a bye week, I believe. Yeah, they did not look good whatsoever against Holy Cross. I think Mississippi State takes down Northern Illinois handily before staying at home at Starksville to play the Vols.
All right. Let's go a little fast. We're going to try to wrap this one up by 8:30, 8:25. Idaho, San Jose State. What are we feeling?
I mean, SJSU, they. I mean, I don't really know how to feel about this game as well. As San Jose State, they're 0 right now. A loss to Central Michigan, and then they didn't look great against the Texas team. Against Texas, who's, well, obviously top 10. Obviously, weren't expected to look good, but they're 0-2 at this point. Idaho, the former FBS program, they were very competitive with Washington State, like they were with like they were with Oregon last year. They Washington State needed a walk off field goal to take down Idaho. Actually, so I like Idaho in this matchup. So I mean, to me, this is actually a toss up. I mean, I'd let you pick this one. I'd lean towards San Jose State, obviously, because of the FBS program here. But uh, I think, but I really don't know. I'm gonna go San
Idaho's
Jose.
looked pretty good this year. Honestly, I think Idaho. I think Idaho wins the football game. Gonna be a great one. Move on.
Yep.
We're thinking.
All right, Boise State Air Force. I mean, Air Force. They pride themselves on defense. They pride themselves on their running game, and well, they just don't really have that. Uh, this year, obviously, they just gave up 49 to Utah State. They're 1-1 right now. I mean, they were expected to bounce back from a very poor last season. Boise State. I mean, Ashton Jeanty looks like he was their entire team last year. Uh, and after seeing that USF game, it's tough to believe in them. But one of these two teams is going to bounce back. And it's tough, but I think Boise is too talented. I mean, they do return some production from a playoff team, even if they don't have Ashton Jeanty.
I agree. Good Boise State pulls it off. Murray State, Jacksonville State.
All right, Jacksonville State, the run they went on last year,
Okay,
absolutely.
the previous pick. Maine lost to Stonehill, I believe a D2 program last week. Absolutely embarrassing for the Maine Black Bears. Not a chance that they go on and win this football game.
What? All right. Anyways, Jacksonville State, their run last year was so impressive, and then week one looks like they could do something similar again, as they were leading over UCF in the middle of the fourth before UCF came back and won. But then they take down Liberty, but then they're taken down by a pretty good Georgia Southern team. But it's tough to really I don't know this. Well, I mean, this should be an easy win. Let's just put it this way: Murray State's horrendous. John Moran's not there for them to save them in football.
Jacksonville State. Take one.
All right, wait, you're lag. All right, UT Martin. They played Oklahoma State earlier. And they it was a 20-point game, which is pretty impressive over Oklahoma State. Normally, Oklahoma State's absolutely horrendous right now, so they'd be actually not that impressive. Uh, Missouri State, they're 1-2. They got absolutely slaughtered week one by USC, but they took down Marshall, and they kept it somewhat closer than SMU team that made the playoffs last season. In fact, they were leading 10-0 after the first before SMU scored 28 unanswered. I like this Missouri State team. Actually, I like how they've challenged themselves, and I think they came out of the challenge as well. So I'm going to go with Missouri State.
I agree. Nevada, Western Kentucky.
All right, Nevada. I didn't think they'd be too great coming in this year, and they've kind of shown that. Didn't really give Penn State a scare. Struggled against Sac State, even though Sac State actually probably recruits better and has more money and stuff than Nevada. But then they lose to Middle Tennessee State. Middle Tennessee State, a team that lost by 20 to Austin Peay. So I can't look past that. So it's tough for me to pick Nevada. So I'm going to go with Western Kentucky. I think they should be near the top of this USA once again, and I think they'll take down Nevada.
I agree. Not concerned about Vanderbilt. Think they handle business versus Georgia State.
Really? We already have the
Washington,
third.
Wazoo.
Hold on.
What do you
Wait.
think's going to happen in that one, huh?
Wait 1 second. Not so fast, my friends. Georgia State last season. You remember that Georgia State took down Vandy?
We don't have time, go Vols, so please. Sorry.
So okay, fine. Vanderbilt. They looked so good against that USC team last week. South Carolina, of course. So they should not struggle. Georgia State last year was a shocker. This year, I don't think they can do the same.
Yep. Go ahead. Wazoo.
All right, in the Apple Cup,
And speed up.
that finally returning, and this game means so much to Wazoo, obviously. And they're playing at Martin Stadium, Washington State. I mean, I was prepared to pick them. They looked very solid against San Diego State, but then North Texas came, and 59-10 against North Texas. I'm not picking any team that just did that, so I'm going with Washington pretty handily now.
I agree. And do you think either of the teams in this list are going to have any issues?
No, probably not. I mean, Texas again. It will be
Nickel's
interesting to
not
see how
really a
Arch
very.
does. But no
Nichols is
problem.
a pretty okay team. Texas State, don't see them falling. To be honest, Cal San Diego State, our final game.
All right, SDSU. I like their defense a lot this year. I know people aren't high on them this year, but I do like their defense. The offense I have definitely have questions about, and their last time out was a 23-point loss to that Washington State team that looked horrendous last week. Cal is 3-0. This one is in San Diego at their brand new Snapdragon Stadium. Cal, they took down Oregon State, which maybe isn't too impressive of a win. But then last week, they took down Minnesota, and that's an impressive win. That's a Big Ten team that once again should hover around that 8-win mark. So I'm gonna go with Cal. I mean, I think they should handle business here. All right. So
I
I guess
agree.
that concludes
It's
our picks for today.
been great to have you guys so far.
Wait.
Hopefully, again, we'll get more.
All right, boys and girls, be sure to join us at 9 for the start of our online dynasty, our crossplay dynasty. Me and Michael, Marshall, and Coastal Carolina. Be there.
You'll only be watching Washington, just for the record. Don't worry.
What? I can't hear you, bro.
You've heard nothing. Thank you guys for
Yeah, I
watching.
did. Sure, okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. Goodbye.